Right guys, welcome back to the build of my 51 Fleetline Chevy Fastback. We're going to build this thing into a drag and drive car. We've done this all in-house with a bunch of mates. We're building a big block blown 540 Chevy for it. It's going to be punching out about 1500 horsepower. Turbo 500 with a trans brake, big beefy 9-inch rear end. As I said earlier, it's going to predominantly be a drag and drive car. We're going to test the car here in the UK, then head stateside and see if we can hurt some feelings. Right, so in the last episode we were fitting a reverse cowl bonnet scoop to the car. We're going to continue that on this episode. It was a bit of a headache. We kind of had the thing all cut out and fitted. I just didn't like the way it fitted, so after we'd sort of started filling and sanding and shaping the thing up, we ended up cutting it in half, lengthening the scoop just to get it right. Right, so it's the second week here in the new unit. We're still trying to find our feet, but we're also trying to progress on the car. We just Scotch Brighten the bonnet back and we're going to glass the hood scoop in to try and give it some rigidity and blend it into, hopefully, the original lines of the existing bonnet. So a little bit later on in the episode we had to finish weld the cage. I had to weld all the plates to the floor pan of the cage. It was a bit of a headache because I was monkeying around in the car climbing through all those bars, but it welded up really good, really strong. I'm really happy with it. We ordered a load of DYNO to sound dead in the car. Big job. Took us about 6 hours to fit it, but it just looks amazing and I hope it's going to do its job. So stick around for that. Right, so while we're waiting for that fiberglass to cure, let's pull out the MIG welder and try and weld all these plates into the floor pans of the car. Now, the floor pans weren't amazing. They've had repairs over the years, but I was really surprised. I turned the heat up on this torch and I really got to burn this thing into the floor pan, so it turned out really well. Here we go, we've got to try and weld up all these plates. Playing around at a time. Not welding too bad, to be fair. Getting some good penetration. They're getting there. So this box here of Dynamite, this tells us, I think it says 36 square feet. So, well, look at that. We've got 9 sheets. I don't know, I think they're supposed to be 450 by 850 or something. So let's hope this gets the car done. Looks sick, man. So glad it's black. Stick one in the car and have a look, eh? Let's get on with it. So for any of you that have fitted this Dynamite before, you realise how much of a laborious job this is. I kind of thought this was going to be a pretty quick process, but you know, to get it to look really nice and fit well around all the cage and all the floor mouldings, it did really take us sort of 6 or 7 hours. So yeah, really happy with the end result. We plan on leaving this as the finish on the floor. We're just going to run a couple of mats on the inside of the car. But yeah, it turned out killer, brightens up the car. I love it. So 4 hours to get this far. I've had enough, so Jim's taken over the night shift. That's about 5 hours worth. We're going to continue all up under here, all the intricate stuff, and we are going to do under the back seat, and we're going to do the wheel tubs, and we're going to make a firewall out of alley for the back to close that fuel cell in. Right, so we picked up a new steering column for the car. The other one was completely knackered, so we need to figure out how we're going to mount this thing and hopefully buy a fitting kit for the firewall, because I'm not sure how we're going to do this just yet. So we need to somehow mount these guys back up on there. And there's the factory indicator switch. I'm sure we can get that back up there somehow. And the hard bit, the tricky bit, is going to be fixing this through there, but I'm sure we can find something. I'm sure we can work something out. Right, so now the fiberglass is dried. Jim's going to knock the top off it with a grinder and he's just going to put a thin skim fiberglass filler over the top. Right, so this is when the proverbial hit the fan. I absolutely hated that scoop once I put it on the car. I threw the bonnet back on just to take a look. It sucked. I hated every single bit of it from every angle. So we modified it for a second time round, but the end result, it was worth the headache. There it is. The bonnet scoop saga.
Spent hours filling, sanding, cutting, to then recut, refill.
We liked how it was. Then once we started filling and sanding, we put it on the car. We didn't like it, so we cut it off again. We still had the filler piece that we cut out originally. Now the scoop moulds into the front screen, which we think looks cosmetically right, doesn't it? So thank God for aircraft rivets and fiberglass. Fun job though, eh? First coat down, chuck another down. Guide coat ready for rubbing tomorrow. Block it back with 240, finish it off with 600. A few little spots we need to put some stopper in, just kind of tune it up a little bit, and then Jim's going to come in tomorrow night, throw a coat of satin black on it, and we're ready to rock and roll. So, I love it, man. It fought me all the way, this thing. I chopped and changed it probably 2 or 3 different times, but I think the end result is absolutely spot on. Love the way this thing kicks up here. We were going to fill this or try and sort of panel beat it a bit and lift it up. I really wanted to, with this radius here, I wanted that to flow straight into the scoop. But if you look at the side profile, it's got this kick right between the two, and I absolutely love it. I really love it. It stands out quite a lot. Can't wait to see it in a coat of black and throw it on the car. That scoop, there's about an inch between the back of the scoop here and the screen, so I kind of hope that's enough. Just for aesthetics, I might trim that back a little bit, because from the side profile of the car, that scoop, I kind of feel like it should be dead in line with the visor. It's tucking under a little bit. We did have it further forward and I think it looked better, so it's just me being a bit OCD, but I think it looks good. So anyway, dudes, it's a late night here again tonight, Tuesday night. We got the bonnet all knocked back. We've got it in high field primer, threw a guide coat over the top of it. I hope to get this thing blocked back tomorrow. We're gonna block it with 240, finish it off with 600. Might have to put a little bit of stopper in a couple of bits and pieces. There's a few little imperfections, but I'm kind of figuring, you know, the high field might do that job. Throw a coat of satin black on it tomorrow night. Jim's gonna come in again tomorrow night. Throw a coat of paint down for me. Which is another thing done. So shop's full, starting to feel our feet again in this new place. You know, we moved 3 weeks ago now. It's been an absolutely mental job. I still don't know where anything is, but you know, we're getting back into the routine of working on the car and, you know, doing the daily grind. So we'll give you a quick look at what's in the shop. Still a mess, no criticism, you know, but we're working at it. Look out, guys, got some new merch in stock. We've got some mugs made from one of our mates. We are going to set up an online store at some point and start to make some merchandise. Probably start off with, you know, usual things like t-shirts and hoodies and caps. So watch out for that and stay tuned. We got a new steering rack which turned up today. The other one in the car was bent. Also, we got all the brake flexi hoses for the front and rear calipers, banjo bolts, washers, clips. So that's going to be next on the list. Here we go. Paint time. this thing is, as you can see, it is absolutely concourse. 1973 Dodge Dart Swinger, 2-door to coupe, 225 slant 6, numbers matching, factory car front to back. It's been completely, I'm going to say restored, but it didn't need a lot. It was in mint nick. So what we did was, mate of mine painted it. No welding required whatsoever. This thing was absolutely killer. We're going to auction this car off, guys. We're going to raffle this car off. So we'll give you the details in the next video. If you'd like to buy a ticket, I think we're going to put them at like £2. We'll send this car anywhere in the world at our cost. If you want to know more about it, keep watching. I will have this thing ready for raffle next week, I think. I hope so. Next video, you'll see the link and the details to buy a ticket. This car is absolutely killer, guys. Inside, outside. I mean, look at the paint. It's just mint, this car. All factory trim. It's gorgeous. Anyway, guys, that's it for this one. Thanks again for all the support, all the messages. You know, it's fantastic. I love it. Love making videos. It's just something else that, you know, you got in the pipeline at the end of the day, something else you're kind of creating, something else you're building, and, you know, at the end of the day, it's something else I get to look forward to, sitting down at the computer and chopping and changing and putting tunes to it, and I love it. I love it a lot more than I thought I was going to. And we hope to continue, so catch you guys on the next one.